Hey team, today we're going to look at some really simple poly modeling in Maya. We're going to build just a small table and chair, something very simple. Should hopefully teach us the basics we need for future modeling. So I'm going to start with a box here. I've got polygons selected. I've got a brand new scene going here. Just going to start my box. Come out here in the middle. Just going to drag out a box. I'm going to change up those attributes later. Something about like that. Notice over here in the attribute editor side of the page, we've got all of our history of the object so far, and we'll watch that build as we go throughout the tutorial. So here is the size of my poly cube. Go with a width of 5, height at 0.5, and then a depth of, say, 7.5. Now for the purposes of some of the modeling we're going to do, I like to keep my stuff at the center always. So I'm going to come over here to pcube1 and see my translations. This is where in the world space the object is at. I'm going to set that to 0, 0, 0. So it's right directly in the center of our scene. And if we do anything that requires some symmetry later, that's just going to make that easier. So with my poly selected, I'm going to right mouse button click and hold that down. I'm going to go into face mode really quick. I'm going to select this top polygon. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude that. So using the extrude tool, we can come in here, we can pull it up, down, move it all around. I actually don't want any height on that. I'm actually using the extrude to inset that. So I'm going to come in here to this extrude. I don't want any translation on this. You can see over here I'm over in the type-ins again. I want 0 there. So it's not going anywhere as far as height, but I'm going to change the offset to be about 0.5. I'll press F and zoom in. 0.5 is probably too much for what I'm trying to do here. So I'm just going to go to 0.2. Just going to inset it a little bit. As you can see, same cube we had before. We've just got a little bit of an inset on the top. This is actually the bottom of our table. So I'm going to select to bake that in. I'm going to extrude again. The same thing. Can offset that by 0.2 and select. So what I've done here is I've inset a few times. I'm just going to grab this border here, hold down Shift, and you can select multiple faces. And I'm going to extrude again, but this time I'm going to actually extrude it up. So I'm going to pull that up a little bit. Find a nice number, 5, that looks good. So now we've got a little bit of a frame for our table. All right. Go into, where did my controls go? All right, we'll do this in the single view then. So I'm going to select this poly that's right here in the middle, and I'm going to come up here and select the Cut Faces tool. Looks like 3 little planes over the top of each other. Grab that and just kind of click anywhere in here. And generally, as you hold down the mouse button, it kind of snaps around. And if you hold it just right, you can get a right angle. That looks about like what we want. So I'm going to do one there. Click another one. I think that's right. Come over here. And one more. I have no idea if those are what we want. Those don't look like, that one does not look like the correct right angle. Whatever, we're going to move on. I'm going to shift click and select all 4 of these smaller squares I just created and extrude those. Extrude, tumble to view, pull those up. Just like IKEA furniture, we build it upside down, now we can flip it. As you can see, we're still in face mode, so it's wanting to select that. I'm going to right mouse button click and go back to object mode. Now I've got the entire object. I'm going to try and turn this 180 degrees. Close. Oh, very close. Alright, we'll just type it in. Boom, we're at 180 degrees. Let's move that up to kind of rest on the grid, somewhere like that. And as you can see, we've got a table. Very basic. Well, I'm going to move that out of our way, and I'm going to start the chair. So it's selected. Just going to move him way off in the distance. And we're going to start almost the same thing. So I'm going to come over here, make sure select's on, start again with a cube. Pull that up. Again, I've got my history over here on the side. I want this at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to make the width about 2.5. The height again at 0.5. That's actually a thick chair. Let's go to 0.25 and 2.5. Alright, right in the center where I want it to be. We're going to do the same thing to start with. Face mode. Use the extrude tool to inset it, and I'm not even going to drag over here. I'm just going to start with the offset. In by 0.2. Looks good. Let's do it again. It's not going to leave me a lot of room. Not to worry. I'm going to change things up. I'm going to undo that. Go back a few steps. Alright. So I'm just going to come in by 0.1. Good. Again, by 0.1 offset. Let's select the frame we just built and extrude that just like we did with the table. Great. I'm going to try and straighten this out as much as I can. And again, hit F to focus on exactly what you're doing. I don't know where my panel went when I lowered my resolution for the video. Otherwise, I'd go to the 4-panel view. For now, since I've got this straightened, we're going to go ahead and use the same cut tool that we had before. And we're just going to guess again. That looks good. It does kind of snap really well, so you can guess that the program is guessing where the right angles are at. A little OCD part of me is freaking out because those aren't exact, but we'll deal with it. Again, select my 4 squares, Alt and drag just to reorient the view, and we'll extrude those legs one more time. Round it up. Alright, now we have the start of a chair, which is pretty much exactly what we did for the table. We're going to introduce some new tools here. So the first thing I'm going to do, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of these. So we'll have this be the back of the chair right here. So I selected the bottoms of those 2 feet, and I'm just going to drag that out a little bit. Give it a little more support, because most chairs don't have exactly straight legs. And then we'll know where the back is at. Alright, that's good. We're going to use the cutting tool again. This time on 4 different polys. Alright, got all 4 of those selected. Let me straighten this out as much as I can before I do that. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Just deselect everything.